FIFO method, first in, first out. Okay, so let us start with, yeah, make this cost sheet for the year ended 2004, units produced, that we will calculate now. I'll show you how to do that. Units sold 9,000, that is given. Okay, make this cost sheet. Okay, units produced, units sold, amount we will make two columns, inner and the outer. And then the last column, the CPU column, the cost per unit column. Okay. I'll go a bit slow today because we are going to do CPU column. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So let us first start with working note of calculation of units produced. Okay. Let me take you way back when I had started with the theory of cost sheet. We had done 5 notes. Note number 1 was calculation of units produced and sold. Note number 2 was how to divide the CPU column, I mean how to calculate the CPU column. Note number 3 was with respect to depreciation, okay, of various assets under the heads factory, admin and selling and distribution. And note number 4 was related to valuation of closing stock as per FIFO and weighted average method. And note number 5 was related to non-cost items which we don't take in cost sheet. Okay, yeah. So let me refer today this with note number 1, calculation of units produced. Okay, so what is the formula? Units sold plus closing stock of finished goods minus opening stock of finished goods will give me units produced. These abbreviations are allowed in exam. Okay, you can use these abbreviations. Okay, how much is units sold? 9,000. Okay. Look into the question is also here, 9,000. Closing stock of finished goods, 1,200. Opening stock of finished goods, 600. Calculate 10,200 minus 600. So my answer is 9,600. Okay. Is the calculation of units produced clear to everyone? Acknowledge it in the chat box. Even if you have to calculate units sold, we'll be using the same formula. Okay? Yeah. Okay. So write it here. 9,600. 9,600. Next, direct cost. Under direct cost, first is direct material. So let us see how many elements we have. We have purchase of raw material, one. Then what we have? Opening stock of raw material. Then we have closing stock of raw material. That's it. Okay, only these items. So write it down here. Yeah. Opening stock of raw material, 12,000. 12,000. Purchase of raw material, 72,000. And closing stock, 13,344. Let us see in the calci, 12,000 plus 72,000 minus 13,344. The answer is 7656. This one. Take it in the outer column. Inner column total to be taken in the outer column. Okay, don't forget that. Here, okay. Next, direct wages, 60,000. Direct expenses, not given in the question, but still you have to show the step. Okay, yeah, can't skip it. Then total direct material plus direct wages plus direct expenses. So my answer is 1,30,656. Okay. Inner column total in the outer column, and outer column also you have to total. 1,30,656, known as my prime cost. What is prime cost? Sum total of direct cost. Here, now, next add indirect cost, the second part of cost sheet. Cost sheet is divided into two parts: A direct, B indirect. And indirect cost, my first is factory overheads. So let us see how many factory overheads we have. So what do we have? Let me check. Yeah, factory, right? So we have indirect material, indirect wages, ESIC, employer's contribution to state insurance. I had discussed this. Then power and fuel, then WIP, opening stock of WIP, and then closing stock of WIP. Okay, so these are all the related items to factory overheads. So let us write it here, write it down. Okay, factory overheads. Indirect material, 3,600. Indirect labor, 5,400. Okay, Samida, ESIC. Okay, Samida, there are, I mean, you must have heard about Provident Fund contribution. Okay, so now this Provident Fund contribution, it is paid by employer to the employee. Similarly, you have ESIC, Employer State Insurance Contribution. Okay, but the difference is Provident Fund contribution is a part related to office. I mean, employees are labeled as yellow collar employees and white collar employees. Okay, so white collar employees means employees who work in office, and yellow collar employees means employees who work in factory. So for white collar employees, we have provident fund contributions, so that will be seen in admin overheads. And for yellow collar employees, we have ESIC. We don't use the word provident fund there. Instead, the word is ESIC, Employer State Insurance Contribution. So it is related to factory. So it will be under factory overheads. Here, then power, 5,400. Okay, ESIC, which I just discussed, 600. You can use the abbreviation, capital ESIC. No need to write the full spelling. That's the abbreviation of the Factories Act. And total the factory overheads, Gross factory overheads, I mean, yes. So 3,600 plus 5,400 plus again 5,400 plus 600. 15,000 is my gross factory overheads. Okay. Less sale of factory scrap. It's not given in the question. Put a dash or write nil. Okay. See, I know sale of factory scrap is not given. Still, you will not skip the step. You have to write it. Okay. Then take the total in the outer column. 10,000. Okay. Then what to do? Once the total is in the outer column, then what to do? We have to total the outer column with the previous total. Okay. So 15,000 plus what is my previous total? My prime cost 1,30,656. So 1,45,656. Here, okay. Next, add opening stock of finished goods less closing stock of WIP. Sorry, students. Add opening stock of WIP less closing stock of WIP. Okay, so the amounts are given. So 1,45,656, add opening stock of WIP 2,880 minus closing stock of WIP 9,600. So the answer is 1,38,936. 1,38,936. Okay. So this is called as my net factory cost. Is it clear till here? Acknowledge it in the chat box. Is it clear till net factory cost? Okay, fine. Great. Thanks, dear. Next, admin overheads. Okay. Okay. Now let us see how many items are under admin overheads. Okay. We have office salary. We have printing and stationery. We have legal charges. We have office rent. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Yeah. Let us write. Like this. Office salaries 7,200. No need to write the full spelling of office. Huh? Just write in bracket capital O. Printing and stationery, legal expenses 864, and office rent 1,200. Okay. Then you all know inner column total in the outer column. So 7,200 plus 1,200 plus 864 plus 1,200. The answer is 10,464. Take it in the outer column. So that's my admin overheads. This one. Sorry. So this is my admin overheads. 10,464. Then what next? Once you take the total in the outer column, we have to total the outer column also, but with the previous column. I mean with the previous total. Okay. So 10,464 my admin overheads. Add to this my net factory cost 1,38,936 plus 1,38,936. So the answer is 1,49,400. 1,49,400. Okay. Next, add opening stock of finished goods. Opening stock of finished goods. Let us check. Yeah, it's given. See, opening stock of finished goods 600 units. And what is the rate? What's the rate? 16 rupees 25 paisa. And if you see here, see, they have given you a dash. Can you see the amount column? They have given you a dash. Why? Because we have to calculate that figure. That is why. Okay? Yeah. So let us calculate. So 600 at the rate means multiply. Okay? 600 multiplied with 16.25. 9750 is my amount. 9750. Okay? Here. Right? Next. Next is what? Less closing stock of finished goods. So let us see the question. Yeah, it's given here. Last line. Value finished stock at cost of production. Okay. So let me remind you with the theory what we had done. Okay. That was your note number 4, calculation of closing stock of finished goods as per FIFO and weighted average. So what I had I told you that time is we have two methods of calculation, FIFO and weighted average cost method. So in FIFO, what do? We value with cost of production. When I say at the rate, it means cost of production per unit. Okay. And when we do weighted average cost method, we value with net factory cost. Okay. Again, same logic. When I say at the rate, it means per unit column. Am I clear to everyone? Is this part clear? Acknowledge it in the chat box. Am I clear whatever I said? FIFO means cost of production per unit column. And for weighted average, net factory cost per unit column. Okay, fine. So that means I have to calculate my CPU now, my third column. Correct? Okay, great. So I have to calculate my CPU, that is my third column. And for that also I had explained a note to you all, and the note says the CPU column is divided into two parts. Okay. Yeah. So let me tell you that. Let me show you that. So I'll show this. So this is visible, right? So what did I say in note number 2 when I had done the theory? I had clearly said from direct material up to cost of production. I repeat, from direct material up to cost of production, cost per unit column is amount divided by units produced. Did you all remember this? Okay, could you relate? I had taught this. From raw material up to cost of production, the cost per unit column will be what? Amount divided by the units produced. Okay, clear? So let us start. Okay? Just remember this concept in mind. Okay, and now we will do the calculation of units produced. Okay, so my first is raw material. How much is raw material? 7656 divided by 9600 units produced we calculated, right? 7.36. So write the answer. 7.36. Clear? Next, Direct wages, 60,000. 60,000 divided by units produced, 9,600. 6.25. So right here, 6.25. Okay, like that, keep doing till cost of production. Okay. Next, prime cost, 1,30,656 divided by 9,600 units produced, 13.61. Write it here, 13.61. Okay, keep doing this till cost of production. Next, factory overheads, 15,000. 15,000 divided by 9,600. 1.56. Write it down, 1.56. Okay, 1.56. Next, gross factory cost, 1,45,656. 1,45,656 divided by 9,600 units produced, 15.17. Write it here, 15.17. And for stock, opening and opening stock and closing stock, any stock, don't calculate the CPU not required. That will just waste your time. So we will save time. Don't do that. Okay. Then net factory cost. I'll just yeah. Net factory cost, 1,38,936 divided by your units produced, 9,600. Okay, you have to keep doing this up to cost of production column, 14.47. So I did here 14.47. 14.47. Clear? Next, admin overheads, 10,464. 10,464 divided by 9,600 units produced, 1.09. So write it here, 1.09. And stop here then. Cost of production, 1,49,400 divided by 9,600, 15.56. Okay, 15.56. Am I clear till here to everyone? Acknowledge it in the chat box. Is the calculation of CPU column up to COP clear? Okay. That's why I said it in the very beginning. You have to remember the theory part which I have done. Yeah, because that applications I'll be doing in science. Okay, great. Thanks, students, for acknowledging. Okay, so done till here. Yeah. Now our work starts of calculating closing stock of finished goods. Okay. So we are doing which method? As per the question, we are doing FIFO method. Okay. So as per FIFO, which rate we have to take? We have to take cost of production per unit rate, 15.56. Am I clear? So this is FIFO. This rate is FIFO. So now come to closing stock of finished goods. How many quantities? Closing stock of finished goods, 1,200 quantities, 1,200 units. So 1,200 multiplied with the FIFO rate, 15.56, 18,672. Okay? Subtract it. 18,672. Okay? Consolidate 1,49,400 plus 9,750 minus closing stock 18,672. 1,40,478. This is my cost of sales. Okay, which is also known as total cost. The cost of goods sold, and then comes total cost. Yeah, cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold. 1,40,478. See this answer. Yeah. Then selling and distribution overheads. Okay. So it's not there in the question. There's not a single item of selling and distribution in the question. Okay. But still you cannot skip the step. You have to show it. Even though it is nil, just write nil. Okay. Then you will get your cost of sales, which is also known as total cost. total cost. And then we know every chapter of cost accounting is what justifies the formula cost plus profit is equal to sales. Correct? Yeah? Okay. So sales is given 1,80,000 in the question. I'll show you. See, 1,80,000 sales. Right? So we know selling price minus cost price is what? Profit. So take it down. This is my cost price 1,44,778. Total cost that is only known as cost price minus 1,80,000. So my profit is 39,522. Okay. 39,522. Here. Now the second part of the CPU column. Okay. First part of the CPU is done till COP, cost of production. Now next, note number 2, which I had done with you all. I had said from COGS, just a minute, students. From COGS up to sales. Okay. How will you get the amount column? Sorry, how will you get the CPU column? I'm saying amount. How will you get the CPU column? Amount divided with units sold. Amount divided with units sold. Okay. So let us start. How much is my COGS? 1,40,478. 1,40,478 divided by units sold 9,000 units. So the answer is 15.608. So I'll make it 15.61. Okay. 15.61. Coincidentally, both the answers are same, COGS and cost of sales. 15.61. Next, profit. So profit divided by units sold. 39,522 divided by 9,000 units sold. 4.39. Okay. Write it here. 4.39. And last, units sold. 1,80,000 divided by 9,000 units sold. 20 rupees. So write it here. 20 rupees. Clear? Acknowledge it in the chat box. Is the question clear to everyone? Okay, fine. Thanks, students, for acknowledging. Yeah, great. If it is clear, then it's good for you. Okay. Okay. Start giving your attendance in the chat box, dear. Okay. And once this is done, then I just need 3-4 minutes more to explain you. Okay, if in exam the same question comes, but they tell you to value with weighted average method. Okay, same question, but the only difference is if they tell you value closing stock of finished goods by weighted average method, then what to do? Okay. So I have done an alternative solution here to show you all the difference. Okay, and I've written it also here. Alternatively, if closing stock of finished goods to be valued at weighted average cost method or net factory cost. Okay, I just explained few minutes back. Okay, if you're doing FIFO, then it is cost of production per unit, and if you're doing weighted average, then it is net factory cost per unit. Okay, so see, I've redone the sum from net factory cost because I want my answer from there, right? Because that will change my closing stock valuation. So see, if it is weighted average, then I'll have to take this rate for closing stock, 14.47 rate. Clear? So I've just redone a sum to show you all the difference. The net factory cost, admin overheads, cost of production, opening stock of finished goods, and now see the calculation by weighted average cost method. 1,200 multiplied with this. 1200 multiplied with the weighted average rate, 14.47. Okay, so 1200 multiplied with 14.47. 17,364 is my closing stock answer. Clear? Is it clear? Okay. Then see your COGS answer will also change, 1,49,400 plus opening stock 9,750 minus closing stock 17,364. So now my COGS is 1,41,786. Cost of goods sold 1,41,786. Okay. Minus this with my sales. So see, my profit is changing, 38,214. 38,214. 38,214. Here, rest concepts are same. Till here you will divide with units produced. And from here till here you will divide with units sold. Okay. See the difference in profit also. By FIFO method, your profit was how much? 4.39. See, 4.39, and with the weighted average it is 4.25. Okay, so from here also comes the concept of reconciliation of stock. What do you call that? Overvaluation of stock, undervaluations of stock. So that concept comes from here. Okay, when there is difference in calculation of closing stock. Correct? Yeah. Is the question clear to everyone? We still have 2 minutes with us. Okay. So now whenever we will do type 2 sums, I will ensure that I am doing it with both the methods. Okay. So that you understand the difference. Okay. Yeah. Because there is a chapter called as reconciliation. So there these concepts are required. So you should have an understanding of if there is change in the method, then there is difference in calculation of profit as well. Okay. Okay, Swapnil needs to see the whole sum. Okay, fine. Is it okay, Swapnil? Okay, great. Okay. So next lecture, some new sum with some little new concepts. Yeah. Generally, the baseline is all the sums have a calculation of direct and indirect cost. You have to identify from your total cost direct and indirect. Baseline is always same. Only there will be 3-4 items which will be peculiar ones, and you need to give a double thought key whether it will be in factory, admin, or selling and distribution. Yeah. And do keep updating your notes, complete your notes.